In today's episode of Fresh Baked, we're going to be telling you guys what is new and newsworthy around the Disneyland Resort, and that is besides the Disney 100th and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Welcome back, Fresh Baked. If you want to know what's new and newsworthy at the Disneyland Resort, you've come to the right place. We're going to be covering that today. There's a whole lot of things going on besides the 100th, besides Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and actually, the first thing we'll get into is something that's not even in the Disneyland park. Let's turn around. Let's go out to downtown Disney. In downtown Disney, as of today, we've got an Earl of Sandwich. You probably know already that La Brea Bakery closed, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and Disney has wasted no time at all in installing the Earl of Sandwich. Got my usual, the Italian. Tastes just like I remember. Well, it's been years. Years since I've had Earl of Sandwich. They've managed to do quite a bit with the existing space that they had at La Brea Bakery. They didn't have to remodel any of the interiors. They just repurposed the cash wrap there with the display where they used to have baked goods. They've now got, sandwiches, etc. And the menu looks about the same. Just slapped a few decals on the exterior of the building and on the inside, and pretty much bam, there you go. You've got yourself Earl of Sandwich here at downtown Disney. Once again, for the third time. They have closed Earl's twice on us, and it's back again. And I should note that they're using only the left seating as you face the entrance to Earl of Sandwich. The seating on the right is not being used. That's the one that's attached to sort of the interior, the indoor dining section, which they're also not using. They're purposing about maybe 2/3 or maybe even half of the existing location that was La Brea Bakery, I think, because they're not using that chef's table thing, or whatever you call that. That's not being used, or the right-hand seating area. Luckily for me, I was able to find plenty of seating here just down the way. At the little picnic area where you can go to the picnic area when you get your food from downtown Disney. It's easy to find a table here. $9 for the sandwich. Another $4, I think it was, to make it a combo. All in, we're looking at $13 for that lunch. Kind of affordable. When we did a how to save money video on this place about 100 years ago, we included Earl of Sandwich as a great place. It's a great value, great place to get an affordable lunch. Expect it to be crowded, though. It will be crowded. We waited about, I want to say 20 or 30 minutes maybe for our food, because it's a popular place. Always has been, always very busy, especially now it being back for the first time in a few years. So, Earl of Sandwich, ready to go. Before we head back into the park, and before we leave downtown Disney, I was alerted to something by a friend of the show, Nick. He showed me the sign that says that Imagineering is working on something at the old Steakhouse 55 restaurant. Now, this does actually reconcile with a rumor that I've heard that Catal might be heading for that space, for the Steakhouse 55 space. We know that Catal is being replaced by a high-end Mexican dining restaurant. I believe they're going to be doing something to the Uva Bar as well. So as a pair, those two will be replaced at downtown Disney. Their theme will be. Catal may survive this as a restaurant. It may wind up at Steakhouse 55 over there at the Disneyland Hotel. No word yet on what that means for Tortilla Joe still. Man, that's a total mystery. How are they going to do that? I don't know. Well, while we make our way down Main Street into the heart of Disneyland, I can update you on Magic Key sales. They are still going, kind of. The only key left right now is the Inspire Key. They have paused the sales of both the Oblique Key and the Imagine Key. Enchant Key never got off the ground at all, but they have... Hey guys, all right. But they have finally paused the Believe Key sales, but Inspire is still going. All those keys, by the way, are available for renewal, including the Enchant Key, which is good news for those of you who have a renewal coming up. I'm curious, though. I'm trying to determine what the meaning is of the fact that only the Inspire Key, or the Inspire Key, is still available. Is it because people aren't buying them, so they still have inventory left? Or is it because Disney wants to sell more of those in lieu of the other ones? They want more Inspire Keys in the park. Now, I've always been sort of partial myself to the Inspire Key. It's my focus. It's the key that I feel like most, of the diehard local fans get, because it gives us, obviously the most flexibility and it's the best value. And so I always feel like that should be the most popular key. So I'm not sure where what the reasoning is for that, but it is an interesting point. I do think that Disney has sort of changed their impression of what the Inspire Key is in terms of what they bring to the park. We've talked about this ad infinitum, but I think one of the things that they were noticing this past year is the fact that they weren't selling as much merchandise as they historically did. And I have a feeling, or it is my belief, my thought, that it's the Inspire Keys. It's those diehard locals who come to the park just to spend money, just to buy merchandise, whatever the new thing is, whatever the trendy thing is, the kind of merchandise that people coming in from out of town don't buy. They buy the more traditional merchandise, the stuff that is more generic, as it were. But it is the locals who buy the renewable stuff, the 100th stuff, that kind of thing. So I think that's one of the things that they're trying to do, perhaps, is try to encourage and bring in more Inspire Keys so that they will buy the new merch and buy the new seasonal food. It's Black History Month this February, and Disney is celebrating just like they did last year, celebrating soulfully. Look for performances by Sacred Groove, an a cappella group, and Singers of Soul. That is a gospel choir. Those will be performing, or those acts will be performing at the Fantasyland Theater on just 2 days this month, February 18th and February 25th. And then for the rest of the month at the Fantasyland Theater, you can expect Lion King to continue its run. It's been going now for a year, which is considerably longer than I thought Lion King was going to run or was supposed to run. I feel like that was supposed to be a seasonal deal only. Tale of the Lion King is still showing here at the Fantasyland Theater. So too is the food at the Troubadour Tavern, the soul-inspired food. There's going to be also celebratory food at Riverbell Terrace and at the Jolly Holiday Cafe. As part of the Black History Month celebration, Disney has added a new segment to the pre-show, the feature that shows before the proper Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln show, the one that featured Walt Disney and Blaine Gibson talking about the Lincoln bust and the animatronic. This new feature is about a 10-minute documentary that covers the evolving relationship that Douglas had with Lincoln as part of the abolitionist movement. It's a great show. I encourage everybody to come visit Great Moments to check that out. It's done in a little bit of a different style. It's actually produced by National Geographic, more of a modern documentary style than what we're accustomed to that we've seen in the theater in the past with Walt and Blaine Gibson. But come visit the Main Street Opera House, see the pre-show, and see Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. Let's go to Tomorrowland next. There's an interesting development over there. You might notice that the Tomorrowland sign is gone on the Buzz Lightyear side of, well, I consider this to be the exit of Tomorrowland, but however you define it, this is, or I should say, the sign is gone. It's still over there on the other side, the proper entrance, in my opinion, to Tomorrowland, but the sign on the Buzz Lightyear side has been removed. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is new paint on the People Mover track. I believe this was given, I never would have noticed this myself. I was given a heads up on Twitter by Mouska Gamer. And if I understand correctly, the grayish looking color is the new paint, I think. And the more cream color is the old color. You know what? I'm not even positive anymore. Whatever the case may be, they are painting the People Mover track. And that, I guess, includes, I want to say, yes, that the blue in that center column is new. And that the off-white color, which is consistent with the rest of the paint job there, is the old color. So what is the meaning of the new paint job on the People Mover track? Can you sense the sarcastic tone that I'm taking at this moment? Because it doesn't really mean anything, of course. It's just new paint. So you got to paint this place sometimes. But I'll tell you this: if they were planning to update the People Mover track, it wouldn't just be with new paint. It would be with giant concrete destroying equipment, because they would have to redo many parts of this track. You know what? Look, as we move down towards Astro Orbiter, I feel like that is the new complete paint job. It looks nice. It looks very clean. I like the blue and white accents as opposed to just a single monochrome, well, grayish color. But I like that. That looks good, but still meaningless. I have given up all hope on the People Mover track ever coming back, at least not as we know it. This track will die someday. Now, they could bring back a People Mover if they decide to, for some reason, I don't know, completely redo Tomorrowland and take a total, wrecking ball to this place, and then build a People Mover track from scratch, a new one. But the track that we have in here today, I don't think will ever be restored to what it was. Not ever.
Thank you for joining us at the Royal Theatre. Our performance will begin in just a few ticks of the sun.
Did you guys hear they're casting for Ariel? They put out a casting call for Ariel. I don't know, presumably for Princess Fantasy Fair, for the Royal Hall of the Princesses. It's pretty neat, right? We got the Little Mermaid movie is coming out fairly soon. That casting call also included a call for Hero lookalikes from Big Hero 6. He'll be meeting with Baymax soon. That means they're they're not going to take long. It won't be long for them to do whatever it is that they're doing at Pacific Wharf for the San Francisco reefer if they're already looking for heroes. I keep saying hero like, the kid from the movie Big Hero 6.
Fresh plate, let's go!
Hey guys, how are you? Hi.
Oh, look at that cactus.
Brought you to Galaxy's Edge so that I can show you something in the department of holy crap, I can't believe it. We're gonna go into the droid factory. Factory where you build your droids, and which presently looks to be in very desperate need of some business. Disney seems to have observed this themselves. When Galaxy's Edge first opened, you could build a droid here at the Droid Depot for $99. That's how much it cost to build a droid. Eventually the prices went up as popularity did, went up to $119. Well, recently Disney did the unthinkable, the absolutely unthinkable, a thing that I've heard of price freezes, I've heard of discounts, things, but I've never seen Disney just straight up lower a price, and they straight up have lowered the price to build the droid here. It is back down to its original cost of $99. And that's not all. Right next door to the Droid Depot, with the right turn, is Savi's Workshop, where they sell scrap metal. Very expensive scrap metal. When Galaxy's Edge first opened, I got some scrap metal here myself. I paid $199 for that. That custom, oh, it's a lightsaber. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's a lightsaber. I paid $199. The prices went as high as $249 over the course of the subsequent years. They have reduced this price as well by $30. It is now $219 to get your custom lightsaber here at Savi's Workshop. I am just astonished. I'm flabbergasted. I cannot believe they have just straight up lowered the price on the thing. Interesting caveat to this story is that they haven't reduced the price at Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World is still operating at the 219, or I should say 119 for the droid and 249 for the lightsaber. Why? Well, my assumption is that it's far more popular. Galaxy's Edge is still doing booming business. It's still a hard thing to do to get a reservation at Savi's Workshop. Meanwhile, I got the heads up on this from Ian. Ian recently went to Savi's Workshop. He said he booked his reservation the day before. I think it was the day before or the day of. So it's not at all competitive. It's not at all urgent here to get a lightsaber as it is at Walt Disney World, and that explains. I just can't believe Disney just ever gave in. They've never given in. They've always just bite the bullet and keep on going and keep raising prices. But it is borderline shocking, this news.
Welcome. Excellent. There is resistance activity here. Have you seen anything suspicious? If you do, report it at once.
Well, as promised, that is what's new and newsworthy here at the Disneyland Resorts on this February 1st, excluding, I don't think we touched on the 100th or on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Well done. I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you like our show and want to show you sport, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked. You know, on my way out, I completely forgot. I wanted to show you guys something super cool here in the Emporium. I don't know if this counts as 100th merch, because strictly speaking, it doesn't have the 100th logo on it, but it is for the celebration, I think. But I showed this coffee mug on Instagram the other day, and I wanted to share it again with you and some more of this line. It's the Walt Disney Productions, or Walt Disney Studios line of merchandise, and this is the one that stood out for me. I now own this coffee mug, and I may not ever drink out of another coffee mug, but they have a whole line of stuff in that vein. Kids t-shirt. I mean, I love the colors. It's very retro, very 20s. I love, obviously, the Mickey, the classic Mickey on there, and the classic, I think that's what it is the most, is like the classic logo, the Walt Disney Studios logo. Walt Disney Studios logoed hoodie. A wild looking Spirit jersey. I'm not positive this is in the same line. It's with the same collection here, but I don't know, because it doesn't have the actual Walt Disney Studios logo on there, but best mouse in town. And it does have the vintage Mickey on there. Adjustable cap. Look, by the way, 2719 Hyperion, Hollywood. The address. A very heavy looking, you know, that's a sturdy button down. It almost looks like a what's the brand? Pennington, I want to say. I can't think of the brand right now, but that's what it reminds me of. Very sturdy, very heavy, very manly shirt that I may have to go home with one of these days. Plain-ish white tee, and look at those ancient characters on there. And Walt Disney's signature. This is making me happy. If you're a fan of Post-it notes, It's an old-fashioned typewriter, and you put your post-it notes on top. Look at this pillow. This would never fit in our house. I wish it could, but this pillow, it's the same pattern as on that white tee. Can you imagine like an oaky dining room or oaky den living room with that on your leather couch? Steamboat Willie ornament. I'm gonna need some help on this one, Fresh Baked. Disney era's phone holder. What? And of course, finally, some Mickey ears. Well, Minnie ears. What is that, a map on there? It's hard to tell, but I think that's a map of Hollywood. Now we can go. Fresh Baked.